Hello and welcome to the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Center here at the University of New Haven. I'm Mike McGuire and this is Pitch Perfect. Welcome to Pitch Perfect's second season and welcome to round two. Tonight we have an exciting three-way competition where two contestants will move on to our final pitch-off and one will not. Each of our three contestants have already won a round of Pitch Perfect. So as we know, Pitch Perfect is the place for you to pitch your new business idea, get feedback, and feel what it's like to be on the spot. At Pitch Perfect, we invite students from all over Connecticut to stand on the spot and pitch their business ideas to a panel of expert judges. Tonight, these judges will decide who moves on to our final pitch-off and who does not. The winner of the pitch-off will be named Pitch Perfect's Student Entrepreneur of the Year and receive $500 in startup seed money and be given the opportunity to work in a business incubator for 5 months, rent-free. Now, let's meet our panel of judges. First on my left is Steve McGuire. Steve is an entrepreneur in a large company and a leader focused on medical devices. He's also the general manager of Orchid Orthopedics. Welcome, Steve. Next, in the center spot, is Jill Mayer. Jill is the CEO of Bead Industries and has a Master's of Science in Management. Welcome, Jill. And finally, to my right is Ethan Gawler. Ethan is president of Structural Graphics, a marketing services company with headquarters in Connecticut and manufacturing operations domestic and offshore. And Ethan is a returning judge to Pitch Perfect. Welcome back, Ethan. Okay, our panel's in place. It's time to meet our first contestant. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Yaw Ansong to Pitch Perfect with his idea called Love Realm. Yaw, you're on the spot. You've got 3 minutes. Go.
Hi judges, my name is Yaw. I'm the founder of Love Realm. Did you know that today in America there are more single people than are married? Majority of these people say they want to get married one day, and so you ask yourself, how are they going to meet their spouses? Today in America, a third of relationships are formed online, and you ask yourself, what tools do they use? They are using tools like Tinder, Bumble, which are tools for fleeting short-term relationships. And this is why we built Love Realm, a platform for college students between the ages of 18 and 35 on college campuses to be able to find meaningful, long-lasting relationships. Our product is different from the existing products on the market because we have resources like coaches, counselors to guide the members on the community. Again, we have a supportive community to guide the couples, and then we have useful resources on our platform and a progress tracker, which is very unique. We've partnered with the Relationship Coaching Institute, which is the largest coaching organization in America, to supply all the coaches we need. And we are very confident about our product because we've tested it with about 20,000 users. We've had 2 weddings on it, and we are one of very few elite startups to be selected amongst the Y Combinator Startup School. We've also secured an undisclosed round of angel investments for our platform, and we are very confident about our products. In terms of the market is a $3 billion market, which shows no sign of slowing down, and we plan to monetize it by charging a $25 per month premium fee. In terms of quality assurance, we are ensuring that all users on the premium plan are guaranteed access to match at least one person on the platform. Otherwise, we give them 2 free months of a premium service. And again, we are also integrating an anti-scam tool into our platform to ensure that there are no romance scams on our platform. The family is the basic unit of the society, and Love Realm is ensuring a strong American society by enabling couples to form meaningful, long-term relationships. Thank you.
So yeah, great job. That was wonderful. It's great to see how far your pitch has progressed since your last appearance, and it sounds like how far your business has progressed. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So we're going to turn it over to the judges for a clarification and comment. Steve, why don't you start us off?
Sure. Yeah, thank you so much. That was interesting. I'm curious about the market. You said you wanted to start in the college market. Does it get bigger than that? Is this going to be a college-focused market for you?
We think eventually there are a lot of other use cases, but then for the start, we want to target our marketing. There are a lot of other use cases, like even existing couples, married people can use the platform. And so eventually it would get bigger than that, but we want to start from somewhere and then gain more data and then expand beyond that.
And it sounded like you differentiated because you're providing relationship counseling. So that sounds special. But the fee of $25 coupled with that, how does that work? It doesn't seem economically to make sense. Have you gone through that?
Are you saying it's more expensive?
Okay.
Are you saying it's expensive? Because in the market, I think it makes sense because platforms like eHarmony are charging $60 a month. Christian Mingle is charging $100 per month. And basically all they are doing is just matching people. But we are providing matching and value-added services. So we think based on the value we are providing, it's value for money and it's worth it.
So my advice to you would be to demonstrate this in some economic way as well as in a market way to make sure that this works, and I wish you well.
Thank you.
Jill.
Hi, Yaw. Great job.
Thank you.
I really like this idea a lot. My question to you is, you said it was $25. Is that per month?
Per month.
Per month ongoing? And it's does the subscription renew at the end of each year, or how does that work?
So you pay every month at the end of every month, just like any normal, like you pay for Netflix. But then you can cancel it at any time.
So if you find love, you can cancel it the next month.
You can cancel it the next time, which is what happens to most dating apps. But then because we have the value of providing support services for couples, we expect that our customer lifetime value will be longer than the average dating app.
Right. So do you have different packages for ongoing counseling, or is it the same price for people looking for love and people who found it?
Actually, we don't do counseling. What we provide mainly are coaches. And it's free for users on the premium. And the agreement we've had with the organization helping us is that we pay them on a commission basis. And so we pick part of the premium payment and then we give it to them for helping our clients.
Okay. I concur with Steve in that some case studies or some examples of how it's worked. Is it up and running right now, or are you thinking about joining it when it's up and running?
As our platform is still being built,
Right.
but then we have an original platform which we started from, which we pivoted into this, which is currently up and running. And so we are hoping that by December we will have an open beta version out. But we have an early alpha version out, which is still
So
being
an early version has 20,000 members or beta users,
Yes.
and you've had 2 marriages.
Yes.
Is that right?
Wow.
Okay, so this is proof of concept at some level, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ethan.
Like the other judges, did a great job, and thank you very much. A couple questions. I really understand how it's distinguished from Bumble and Tinder, but tell me how it's distinguished from Match.com or eHarmony. Bumble and Tinder, that's quick, short term. The others are also looking for love and looking for marriage. So what's your big distinguisher?
We are the only platform in the world with a progress tracker in place. So what the progress tracker does is that couples, like if I meet someone on the platform, it shows you the people you are talking to, and then it suggests you to get committed to them, and then it suggests you eventually to move from the first date to, relationship, to courtship, to marriage. And then, so the goal is that even after marriage, we're gonna get them still on the app. And then we're providing them with talks, we're providing them with resources, some of which you find on the other platforms. But now the platforms provide coaches. And then again, we are the only platform providing an all-in-one solution where members can talk about their relationship anonymously. Because if I meet someone on Tinder and the relationship goes bad, I might have to go to a different platform to post that. But on LoveRoom, you can post anonymously, and we have our coaches and the supportive community offering you the support you need to foster and nurture your relationship.
So is the revenue model subscription-based only, or is there advertising opportunity as well?
For now, it's subscription-based only, but we are thinking in the future of adding advertising for the free users. And then we are also thinking of including gifts for couples to be able to buy for each other. For example, on Val's Day, the app should be able to suggest to me that I buy a gift for my girlfriend, and then we get like a cut of the revenue.
I could use that hopefully for your commission.
Nice reminder. Perfect.
So is there, in your platform, is there any intellectual property that you can capitalize on?
We are thinking of patenting the progress tracker because we think it's unique, but it's taking some time.
So patent protection can be huge, and so my thought for you is really pursue that, talk to a patent attorney and look to pursue that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good. All right. Well, Yaw, please join your other contestants off stage, and we will see you a little later. Great job.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ketsia to Pitch Perfect with her idea called Always Green. Ketsia, you're on the spot. You've got 3 minutes. Go.
Hello everyone, thank you for having me on here. Did you know that every year 8 million metric tons of plastic ends up into the ocean, killing 1,000 of marine mammals but also 1 million of seabirds? Yes, plastic pollution is a real threat to the environment. To solve that issue, people have tried to come up with solutions such as recycling, corn-based bottle, sugarcane-based bottle, paper-based bottle. However, none of them has proven to be 100% effective. As a matter of fact, 4 months ago, the UK government reported that recycling isn't the answer to fight against plastic pollution. This is the reason why we are here. I represent the team Always Green, and today we're trying to come up with a product that doesn't exist yet into a market. Are we ready? A seed paper-based bottle. 100% eco-friendly but also biodegradable. That only takes a week to decompose. What makes the product special is the fact that we mix seed with paper, which means that if the bottle ends up in the soil, it will help to grow plants, depending on the kind of seed we use. For example, if we use flower seed, then the paper will grow flowers after it starts to decompose. And even if it ends up into the ocean, because not everybody cares about pollution, it will feed the fish into the ocean because fish eat seed. So let's talk about our market. We're planning to sell the seed paper-based bottle to beverage companies into the US, which represent $12 billion of revenue. But also, this is a perfect product for the future because it will help to fight against plastic pollution in countries with high pollution rates, such as China and also other African countries. Our competitor will be traditional plastic bottle manufacturers, but also other eco-friendly products that already exist into the market. So let's talk about pricing. Right now, we are trying to come up with a prototype. We already saw an engineer, and according to what he told us, it will cost us around 0.25 cents to $1.50 to make the bottle. And we're thinking about selling it at $3 compared to other products. For example, the simple paper-based bottle costs $2. So with all the benefit that we're bringing out to the market, we think that the $3 is a reasonable value to our product. So judges, are you ready to fight against plastic pollution with us? The seed paper-based bottle, the solution to pollution. Thank you.
Ketsia, great job. What
Thank
a
you.
unique concept, and it's developed nicely since the last time you presented.
Thank you.
But for the judges, help explain to me a little bit about the product. It has a paper shell, but there is a lining of some sort.
Oh, yeah.
And it too is biodegradable. Could you clarify that for all of us?
Yeah, that's a good question. The paper, just like you said, is a shell, but we have an inner lining, which is made with agar, a seaweed-based powder. That's once mixed with water can be molded in order to create the inner lining. And that's also I think it is something different to what already exists in the market because agar doesn't need actually a week to decompose. As soon as the bottle is empty, then start the process of decomposition. That could be in 2 days or 3 days, depending on.
Okay, great. No, that's helpful. Steve, big idea. What thoughts do you have?
Compelling problem, one we can all grab onto very quickly, appreciate and understand. So market, let's assume it for now.
Mm-hmm.
So the challenge, packaging is a very technical field. It has a lot of challenges with respect to regulatory, it has challenges with respect to manufacturing, so on and so forth, and certainly cost is a very big part of it. How far have you pursued that? You said you have an engineer looking at it and advising you. Tell me more about that.
So what the engineer told us is that she will because she's sorry, she'll be looking for like all the, let's say, element we need in order to make a seed paper-based bottle, because we need sawdust, seed, and also agar. So getting all the elements together in order to make the seed paper-based bottle is the first step. Actually, we have to do, come up with. So, and we haven't really touched the other aspect, as you say, regulations and all the law concerning the packaging and stuff. So we probably have to do, that will be the next thing that we will have to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one thought might be to think about different options and maybe you have relative to packaging, so it doesn't always have to be liquid. Are there applications that could be biodegradable that don't have the regulatory risk associated with consumer products or food or things you drink and eat? Are there packaging opportunities that can be maybe a lower threshold to start with? So that's question and advice.
I think that will be, we thought about it actually, because the idea came from one of our teammates who is from India, and they use a seed paper-based newspaper journal. And she actually told us that we can actually touch other areas except the bottle, like the paper, the seed paper-based bottle. We can also try to come up with something else, such as a package or handbag, I don't know. Yeah.
Find the easiest, fastest, but big market to go after that can get you there quickly. And
Yeah.
I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
Second manufacturing person on the judge panel tonight. So Jill.
Well, Ketsia, I really liked your presentation. It is a big issue right now,
Yeah.
plastic in the ocean, and so this is very interesting. Questions for you. You said the agar was made of sawdust, and that you said that there were other eco bottles out there. How is the agar different from what's out there already?
So the agar is not sawdust. Agar is a seaweed-based powder.
Okay.
Seaweed.
That can be molded. It's actually used to make dessert for vegan. But once mixed with water, it can be molded and create an inner lining for our product. So, and the next question is the other product that already exists out there.
Right.
So we have biodegradable plastic bottle that takes 6 months to decompose. We also have paper-based, simple paper-based bottle that also takes, I think, 6 months because of the inner lining.
Mm-hmm.
The paper will maybe take 1 week to decompose, but because of the inner lining, it will take 3 to 6 months to decompose.
Okay. So now you mentioned the pricing of $3 versus the competitors $2.
Yes.
Where did you come up with the increase in the?
So I did a research on the simple paper-based bottle, and I found most like the average price was $2. So I thought that with all the elements we have to put together, maybe having $1. We thought that having $1, like increasing $1 would be the reasonable, like something. I don't know. Sorry.
That's okay. No, it makes sense. You took a look at some benchmarks
Exactly.
in the marketplace and said, hey, look, any startup that you do, you have to make some assumptions, right? So
Yeah,
you
but
looked at
also
that and
we
said,
have to buy the seed. We have to buy the agar. So that's we thought about a carpentry or even construction site, and yeah. So all those factors put together, we thought that maybe the price was.
Okay, good.
Price.
My recommendation would just be if you're looking at the different ingredients that are in the seed paper, what fluctuations would happen in the prices of the materials, and what alternate materials you could use if they became unavailable or if the price went up beyond your means. Just thinking of some different.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Ethan.
Ketsia, nice job.
Thank you.
A number of questions. First of all, the manufacturing costs of a quarter to $1.50. That's a huge spread. So define the criteria for, is that as you grow and scale, costs will come down, or help me understand that cost basis a little bit better.
So the cost, as I already told you, we don't really know how much it will cost us to produce it. But that was an estimation that the engineer gave us, saying that the price will be like we have to make an estimation between 0.25 to $1.50. Yeah.
So a couple of us asked about the agar, and I'm still a little confused
Okay.
about it. So once there's liquid in the bottle, what's to keep it from starting to decompose already?
The liquid will actually exactly.
I
It
see.
depends on the okay what is needed in order for the bottle to like the agar to decompose is when the bottle is empty, then the agar start decomposing.
Is it oxygen that does it? Do you know, or what causes it to decompose?
I think that's a good question.
Okay,
We
I'm
haven't
just
thought
curious.
about it.
Well, you know,
Somehow, some way,
And I
right?
don't want to jump too deep in the science of it, but once it ends up in the ocean, would it reactivate?
That's also a good question. Agar is something made with is a seaweed-based powder, which means, and also used by vegan to make food. If it ends up into the ocean, then fish will eat it.
Right. The selling price of $3. You mentioned that your target audience or your target customer is beverage companies. Are we talking Pepsi, or are we talking something, and this would be my thinking, is that we're looking for a much higher end, we're looking for a $6, $8 beverage at the consumer level to be able to support a $3 selling price, right? So have you given that, who is that customer?
So we were thinking about customer here in the state of Connecticut just to start. That would be a starting point for us to begin here in Connecticut, and then we'll be thinking about big companies such as Pepsi and even Coca-Cola in the future.
Yeah, I guess my question was more geared at not who specifically, but what kind of product.
Oh, okay. Water and juice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well done. Great presentation.
Thank you.
You're going to need to join your other contestants off stage, and we'll have you back here for the final judging. Nice job, Ketsia.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Joan Maloney to Pitch Perfect with her idea called FUBU. Joan, you're on the spot. You've got 3 minutes. Go.
Hi, we are FUBU. Have you ever been a broke college student at campus? Have you ever dealt with how difficult it is to get food delivered to you on campus? Right now, we have found a $2.9 billion market potential, which we offer a delivery service brought to you by students on campus. Our focus groups have come up with the problems with getting drivers lost. They also found that they can't find their way on campus or not allowed on campus. This is a reason why most students haven't used our competitors such as Grubhub or Instacart. And so with that, we have also met with different businesses who are already willing to partner with us. We have talked about our profits, our delivery fees, which we will offer a $5 set delivery fee. Our sponsorships, to which we have restaurants already willing to sign with us. We also have other businesses willing to commit to us as well. We also have branding and our marketing campaign designed. We also have commissions, to which we will offer a discount to the students. However, we will be getting a commission based off of a lower price, but we will still be offering discounts to our students. We also have a subscription base, which will eliminate the $5 delivery fee, which we found in our surveys is something that both students really want to have the options for. We will have different tier levels of our subscriptions. The unlimited one will be $15, which basically would be able to use the service as much as you need. So why us? We come to you. We have better quality of food. We also accept university's meal plan as well as state income assistance, so programs like WIC. We want to be able to deliver this food to everybody. Our drivers are students. They are allowed on campus. We don't have that issue. They also know the campuses, so we won't have that issue of students getting lost. Plus, we plan on working with the universities to include this in their work-student program, so that way it benefits the university as well. Eventually, we will have the students have cars of our company. However, in the first starting up, they'll be using their own cars. We also require very little startup capital. We have an estimated $8,000 to create the app itself. However, for getting the partners and clients and stuff, it's really putting boots on ground and meeting with people and talking to people, which is something we don't do anymore as a society, which is kind of a problem. We also plan to offer students discounts and coupons, and then we also have a plan to donate 30% of our profits to our battered women and children's shelters, as well as eventually we would like to start a scholarship fund. And first, we plan on starting at UNH and then the world. We are FUBO.
Well, Joan, welcome back. Great job. Great job. You know, one thing I find really interesting about tonight's show is that all three pitches had a social conscience to them. Yours gives back, and others are talking about building a stronger culture and solving a huge environmental problem. So congratulations to all three of you on that point. So with that, Steve, why don't you start the questioning?
Sure. Well done, Joan. Thank you for that. Market, college students, hunger, yes. So I get that. That's very clear. So the thing that strikes me is really differentiation. You mentioned relationship with the university and relationship with students. Tell me more about that. How does that work versus your competition?
Well, versus our competition, currently our competition hires ex-employees outside of their, and they don't go to college. They don't have the student IDs. A lot of colleges, unlike ours, actually require you just to get onto campus. You have to use your student ID. So this provides that ability. Right now, if you order from Grubhub or Uber Eats, Instacart does not deliver to campuses, which is why our company is doing both grocery and restaurant food delivery service, which none of our competitors do. They can't get on campus, so you have to walk a great distance to get your food, even to get it to your dorm. So by that time it might even be cold, and that's why a lot of students haven't been utilizing these apps, as well as the fact that the on-campus food options are very pricey. They're usually 3 times what you would go to a grocery store for. And Sodexo, which is our food provider on campus, other campuses have different companies that they partner with, closes at 8 p.m. So if you're taking a late class or you're up till 3 a.m. studying for finals, which I was just doing, you don't really have the options there to get food. And some campuses aren't in the best areas where you can just walk like 2 or 3 miles to the grocery store.
Okay. So I heard New Haven in the world. Big gap, right? So
Yes, sir.
how do you get that? Have you thought about how you scale this? What are the key elements of scaling, building brands, franchising? How are you going to do this?
Well, the great thing about our company is we do have a partner that we have the option for exit strategies already thought into our business plan. So we can partner with our competitors, we can sell to our competitors who already have that ability. However, with us, we plan on starting at UNH and then working with other universities around Connecticut. And then as word spreads, as funding grows, we'll be able to utilize more campuses throughout the country and maybe even across the world.
Okay. Think big. Jill.
Joan, great job. I love the name. I love the idea of it. I think it's great that that the students who will be driving and delivering the food know the area so they won't get lost. My question to you is, you know, you talked about the $15 unlimited, but then before that you said that it was $5 per per fee. So really it pays off if they order more than 3 times. And what does that do to your profits if somebody's ordering, you know, twice a week?
As for our profits, it won't really affect it that much because we're going to have a scalability. We found that half of the students in our consensus, we sent out a survey, would use the subscription base. It's more utilized towards groceries. They still have to pay for the food. So with that, we are working with restaurants. Wayback Burgers down the street already is willing to partner with us and offer us a commission price. So they'll be paying a discounted price, but we'll be making money that way. We also have different companies throughout the state willing to sponsor us. So they'll donate, like, in order to be like ahead on the app, come up first in the search, they have to pay a certain amount of money. So we found that the $15 makes the most sense and it's the most feasible for the students at this time.
Okay, that makes sense. The other thing you mentioned was maybe getting your own vehicles instead of the student drivers. But as you know, in the industry with Uber and the different companies like that, Lyft, they don't require, and part of the beauty of that is you don't have the cost of the equipment, the vehicles. So have you thought about maybe keeping the drivers in their own vehicles, but then maybe just in having liability insurance or increasing your policy?
Well, we do plan on having liability insurance. The reason being is some students who desperately need work don't have cars on campus. The reason being, like Zipcar we have on our campus personally, where you can rent a car. We want to be able to offer them the ability, but that won't be till later down the road. It's something for the future, is having a few cars, not very many. Like, the students will still be able to drive their own personal car as well, but they'll also have that option to be able to drive our vehicles, which will increase our insurance eventually.
Right. Okay.
Ethan,
Joan, terrific job, really great concept. So it's run by students for students essentially, right? How are the student drivers compensated?
The student drivers will be reimbursed. They get it's a $10 an hour. So $10 an hour that they're delivering. They can sign up for different time slots and such as that, as well as they get a commission off of delivering
Off the value of the subscription, or the value of the food being delivered?
Like based off of mileage. It will be based off of mileage where they'll get the commission.
Mm-hmm. I love the idea, and my thinking is to really expand the integration of like the university food plan, incorporating that, as much as you can onboard different benefits that they're already paying for as a subsidy for the service. I would really look to pursue, opportunities like that. Good job.
all right. Well, you're our third contestant tonight, so if you join the other two while the judges do a very difficult deliberation. Thanks, Joan. Great work.
Thank you.
All right, judges, now comes the tough task. With 3 contestants, only 2 can move on. You're going to need to tell one of them that they're not going to move on to our final. So great presentations, tough job for you, but let's start the deliberation.
So this is going to be tough. What do you guys think?
I think it's going to be tough. 3 great presentations.
Yeah.
Not straightforward.
Yeah.
So let's talk.
All right, let's start with Yaw. Gosh, it was a really good idea,
Yeah, I agree. I think he's differentiated himself in some good ways, and he's also test marketed this. So I thought those were positives.
Yeah, he has 20,000 beta users, so there's, that opportunity to have run into challenges and start to think about before he's actually going live how they're going to address those challenges. So to be able to onboard that many beta users, I think, is really to their credit.
Yeah. The value-added services of the counseling, I think it's unique to the other apps that are out there. I just wonder, the value of it for some of the
And
other.
how sustainable economically.
Yeah.
Scalable, right? How do you quality control those kind of advisors that essentially representing your company?
And
Right.
what kind of expertise do they need? If you were to be counseling,
Yeah.
what
Those
qualifications?
certifications, right.
Right. So I think strong differentiation, questionable how that really could be executed.
Right, but I believe, like you said before, he's been effective with the 2 marriages on the 20,000 users.
Right.
So it's
It's a
proven.
really interesting idea too, that it's, once there's a marriage, it's not done. You know, the service is not done. The whole idea of incorporating gift reminders
Yeah.
or
Ongoing advice. or
ongoing
whatever,
advice,
yeah,
and
whatever
whatnot.
the
Really,
couple
really
wants.
an interesting differentiator there.
Right.
Yeah.
Almost marriage counselors as it evolves.
And it
But,
seemed like the price was right. It was much lower than some of the other apps that he talked about.
25, I think he said,
25
versus
versus
60. Right.
yeah. How you make money, still not a strong part, at least in my understanding. How do you make this economically feasible, particularly with the advisory fees?
All right, let's move on to Ketsia. I think she's really tapped into a big need.
I just have to say, this is really comfortable to get behind. It's a big world problem. It's the merit of the idea really resonates with me, and so that
Yeah.
there's just as a foundation idea really
Right.
resonates with me.
Yeah, and I think it's going to come time where the industry is going to really need solutions. This is a very hard thing to scale. It's a very challenging, scalable from an operations and a cost point of view. But if you get some IP around it, it could be very interesting where it could go.
There'd have to be, because it seemed like once somebody got the recipe or caught on or reverse engineered it, they could easily copy.
Right. So they would. I'm sorry we didn't ask that question about where they are with the Algar, because that's
Right.
seed paper's been around.
Right.
I'm sure there's not protection there. I don't know, but the Algar sounds like there could be a real opportunity there for some IP protection.
What else? I mean, the research is there, and they've definitely thought through the development of the market too.
I think she had some good statistics. I like the idea. There were numbers, there was thought, there was market size. Cost was thoughtful. It's not necessarily validated, but thoughtful.
Right.
So, okay.
Good. Okay. So Fubu, Joan, she had some compelling reasons why you would want to have students drive the vehicles instead of other companies, I thought. What do you think?
And she really seemed to have done her research. She seemed like they had worked with some consultants. They had the fact that they had focus grouped. Neither of the other two mentioned that. So focus groups is always, a good step in the right direction.
And they reached out to their community and already talked to restaurants too.
Right, so the relationship building at the university, at the meal providers, the students, connecting that all together was really a nice part of the presentation. And the scalability is a thing that, I wonder, how do you go from here to there?
Yeah, that sticks with me too. I
Yeah.
think there are a ton of challenges in this model. I think the free deliveries offered by many restaurants may be, a challenge right there.
Right.
If it's focused more in groceries, that could be, potentially an opportunity.
Kind of like a pea pod for campus. Yeah.
A pea pod for campus, that kind of thing. That could be an interesting angle on it.
Yeah. Wow, it's a tough call. I did like, though, Joan, she was going to they'd already talked and thought about donating some of the profits, which was, I thought, really neat.
Yeah,
I think that far into it.
And I like that idea. We'll have to see if the business can sustain it.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, so what do you think? Are we close? Do we have a decision?
Well, I think we have to decide. That's the challenge. It's not an obvious one. So we have to give it some thought.
I think we've got a decision.
Contestants, welcome back and great job. So the judges have made their decision, and we all know that 2 of you are going to be moving on to our Pitch Perfect final for the season, for an opportunity to win $500 in cash and to have 5 months of free use of a business incubator. So a lot's at stake here. I also want to say that all of you are winners. All of you are here because you've already won once. So however this turns out, you're all winners and very much appreciate the time and effort you've put into this. But now over to the judges. They're going to provide some feedbacks and give each of you some of their thoughts. And then Jill is going to announce the two winners. Steve.
Well, as Mike said, great job. Thank you. You made it hard. But let me just give a few comments. So I like the fact that you differentiated your business from all the others. I want you to think about how the economics work in that differentiation. How do these advisors work? How do they get paid? How does your company collect for that sort of service? And how do you scale this in a way that you can have good quality control over that? So think about that advisory service. Good differentiator. How are you going to do it? Okay, so Ketsia, big idea. Might want to just think about how you can look at the entire packaging market. Where do I start? How can I guess the best benefit? Think about cost. When you think about water, juices, huge volume, crazy amount of very little margin, and do you want to think about where you can demonstrate the viability of the market in an easier way? So think about that. And Joan, I think you did a great job in terms of collecting data, understanding the market, and I like the way that you've differentiated yourself by relationships. So well done. Just think about scale. How do you make it big?
Great, Steve. Thanks. Jill.
Yeah, great job. I like the whole idea of adding the services and continuing on after the relationship is together. I would encourage you to determine how you're going to control the different types of coaches and what sort of certifications they're going to need to become a good coach, and how you're going to offer those services throughout. Ketsia, excellent job as well. I think it's a really, really unique approach to what has become a big problem in our country, in the world, really. So my suggestion would be to maybe try to find out if you can reverse engineer the bottle, the ingredients, in the event that someone else tries to do that and copy your idea. Or think about, as you're building this product, what are other types of alternative bottles will be coming in that might disrupt your model. And Joan, very nice job as well. I do think that there is value in student drivers knowing where they're going, and I do think you've thought out a lot of the scalability of the project, so good job.
Ethan.
First of all, just to echo what Mike said and the other judges, you're all winners. You all did a great job. You all have great ideas. I know I'm going to be reading about you in Fortune and in the not too many years to come, so I wish you all great luck. Y'all, everybody needs love, and so as Steve I think touched on with regard to your differentiators, the coaching aspect of it, I think need to be careful that the qualifications, certifications, and whatnot are affordable, but also valid. Let me move on. Ketsia, huge global problem, huge idea. It sounds like you've got the science side of it. Think the algar. Is it patented? Is it patentable? How can you seek IP protection on that really unique differentiator in the bottle? And then also, I think finding the water and juices, I think, is going to be difficult. I think you need to look for a higher end product to market with, because it'll sustain the price point better. And Joan, broke college students, I can relate to that. So bringing a service both that can deliver food and help in that regard, but also deliver employment to those students. I really like all of that. So all three of you, I wish you the very best of success. Good luck.
All right, here comes the tough part. Jill, let us know who's going to be moving forward to our final Pitch Perfect round for season two, sorry.
Okay, this was a really tough decision. You guys all did great. But Ketsia and Joan will be moving on to the next round. So I'm sorry, Rob.
All right, well, congratulations to you both. We will see you at our next show. Yaw, it was great meeting you. Wonderful idea. You've got a rolling business, and all of us here at Pitch Perfect and the Entrepreneurship program at the University of New Haven are here to support you. So don't forget that. Thank you. And you as well. Well, that's it from the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Center here at the University of New Haven. Thank you for joining us today on Pitch Perfect, and make sure to tune in for our final pitch off. And remember, to make it yours, make it real, and keep on pitching.